Do you know a parent who uses drugs? Be honest. Did you judge them? Parents are responsible for nurturing and caring for their children. So when you hear of a parent who uses drugs, you are bound to have thoughts and questions. This second episode in our series on parenting and drug use goes deep into the topic of parents who use drugs, their struggles, their heartbreaks, and the love they have for their children, and how a new parenting program is helping them to be better and be more present parents. You will meet courageous parents who are navigating this difficult journey and the people who are supporting them. I am Kalvanya Padayachee, and you are listening to Say It Anyway, the NACOSA podcast where we listen, we don't judge. This podcast deals with some difficult issues and may not be suitable for sensitive listeners or young children.
Say It Anyway, the NACOSA podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Say It Anyway, the podcast where we dive into conversations we often shy away from, giving voice to the struggles and the strengths hidden in plain sight. I'm your host, Kalvanya Padayachee, and if you're a parent, you know the script. We worry about screen time, homework, and whether they're eating enough. We feel prepared for those battles. But what about the conversation we don't feel prepared for? The one that fills us with dread, confusion, and fear. The one about drugs. What does it mean to be a good parent? Is it possible to love your children fiercely while fighting an addiction? Society is quick to judge, to label, to look away. But what happens when we stop, listen, and choose to hold the space for the messy, for the complicated, and the courageous stories that defy the stereotypes? In today's powerful episode, we're holding the spaces for a topic shunned in stigma and silence: parents who use drugs. The truth is, there's no perfect script, but there's a power in sharing our stories, in listening, and in saying the hard things. I'm so grateful to be joined by four incredible guests who are here to share their wisdom, their expertise, and their raw personal journeys. First, we'll hear from Nonchalantla, a parent who's an active user who has gone through the Sambambisane parenting program, who will share her raw, unfiltered experience of trying to parent amongst addiction. Welcome, Nonchalantla.
Thank you.
Then we have a parent in Shloni who is on a methadone program, offering insight into the path of recovery and healing while rebuilding a family. Welcome, Shloni.
Thank you very much, man.
We'll also be speaking to Nolita, who is a guardian. Nolita has stepped in the care of a child while a parent is on their journey. She will share the challenges, the fears, and the delicate art of supporting a child through this trauma. Welcome, Ma.
Thank you very much.
And dialing in all the way from Cape Town, we have Anna from Clowns Without Borders. She's an expert who helped co-develop the Sabamisane parenting program with NACOSA, and she'll share how humor, play, and creativity can become unexpected tools for healing and connection in the darkest of times. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you so much.
So whether you're a parent or a caregiver or a community worker or simply someone who believes in second chances and the power of empathy, stay with us, take a deep breath, and let us lean in and start saying it anyway. So I want to start with you, Shloni and Nonchalantla, and I want to allow you the opportunity to tell us your story. What has been your journey? How did you come to this harm reduction space? And can you share your experience?
Thank you, ma'am. Warm greeting to you all. My name is Lsohonolo and my surname is Ndaba. I'm in a group of a methadone group, which is in NACOSA at UV by the ANOVA team. I've been too far. I've been from far and I'm going too far because of the love of the God. Because if it wasn't for God, I don't think I would make it by right now. So At the first, we were having a parental group at at our places, yes, and then we ended up receiving the certificates for the parenting groups. Yeah. At the parenting groups, what we learned so many. We've learned so many things about how to be a parent and how to take responsibilities towards our children and daughters, things like that. As now I'm a parent and as now I know how to take responsibilities, but before I couldn't do that because of I used to be in a street. Actually, I used to be I can say I used to be a hobo outside the streets, sleeping at street. Don't even care about my daughter, which whether she's eating or not, or having a happy life or not. I wasn't even care about that. But now I saw how important it is for me to be there for her because of I think every child he he or she needs to have a parent while the parent is still alive. So and I'm willing to be that perfect parent for her. And I know only God can make me that, and I myself too can do that. We also they also told about they also told us about the children's rights. That all the children they do have a right. Yes, all the children they do have a right because of, um, for an example, children. So to them to have a right. What can I say?
Should have the right to have a certificate to take to go and have the every health to get their every health that they have to get to the clinics. Yes, has checks to the clinics, and so also that.
And making sure that their clinic cards are always in order. Everything which they are using are always will be in order as uh, until when the children it's ended up going to the clinic. Yes. We also read about the children's healthy care.
Yes.
Yes. Children they do have a right to a healthy life and a healthy place where they could grow up in. And they have the right to a healthy environment because of without a healthy environment, I don't think some children can make it because of the environment that we are growing under. There's a full of bad things, even if they are not all the things the bad things, but most of them are bad things. And I think the children should be strong and know what he or she wants in life, so that they can't be tempted by the other people on what they are doing.
Yes. Thank you, Anshula. For you, Nonchalant, how how did you come about, accessing services in the harm reduction program and then your journey through Samambisane? Maybe you can just share that experience. Yeah, I've experienced a lot in NACOSA and Sibambisane parenting group. I've learned a lot about how to take care of my kids and how to connect with the guardian that has taken care of my kids. And I've learned a lot. Before you do anything, you have to take a pause and think and breathe in and breathe out. And then you say, must check in or checking out. And we have, I've learned a lot since Sibambisane not to share anything that we are using hands towards our substances. And I'm still willing to work with NACOSA, Sibambisane, and parenting group that does a great thing. And we did get the certificate for our graduation. Yes. And I'm still looking forward for working with NACOSA at Sibambisane. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you. And for you, Ma Nolita, what has your journey being a guardian and taking care of your grandchild?
My journey was not hard because I am a parent.
Yes.
So you are a grandmother to your grandchild. So it was not something hard. It was easy because I did it before to my own child. So I just step in when I understand that both of the parents are in drugs. So I just said, okay, it's fine, guys. You can go and live your lives on the street and give me the child. Yeah, so the child is growing up well. She's turning 3 years next year on May. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And Anna, who's joining us online, how did you get here? I mean, tell us about the development of the Sabambesane parenting manual. Just take us through that journey of how you came about with NACOSA and developing the manual.
Thank you so much. So, Clowns Without Borders South Africa was first established in 2007. And since that time, we became increasingly involved in the parenting space. So, we co developed the Sinovuyo programs for the South African context, which are evidence based parenting programs that work in contexts like South Africa that are freely available for caregivers. We work together with the University of Oxford, Cape Town, with support of UNICEF, WHO. And these programs have really rolled out in so many different ways over the years. At Clowns Without Borders, we've supported adaptation for many different new contexts, new target groups, and supported with the capacity building and scale up of those adapted programs. And in 2023, we collaborated with NACOSA to see how can we now take the learnings from these evidence-based parenting programs to support the specific target group of parents who are on a recovery journey from drug use. And of course, that was a whole new area of work for us. So personally, I've learned a lot. What I know is the parenting, the positive parenting skills, and how to support families in general. But this specific target group was new to me. So I was very grateful to be able to work with so many partner organizations that have years and years of experience, and also with clients who've gone through this journey of trying to navigate parenting challenges alongside their recovery journey. So when we started the adaptation process, we had consultations with implementing partners from the field, with clients who've gone through the recovery support services and trying to navigate parenting challenges. And based on their input, really try to see how can we now really tailor this program so that it speaks into the specific needs of this target group. And that's where this program resulted from. So what we have now is a parenting program that's specifically tailored to equip parents who use drugs with both positive parenting skills and many other coping skills to help them support their children well and to make sure that the children grow up in a stable home environment where they as parents can fill the role that they want to fulfill as good parents in their children's lives.
It's really amazing, Anna. I also just want to know, a lot the sessions in the Sabambesani program bring about humor and creativity. And how does this humor play help children and parents dealing with their trauma related to substance use?
Mm. It's a good question. I think what is really important in establishing a relationship of support and trust between a parent and a child is play. Play is the language that children speak. Play is the way in which they engage with the world around them, in which they engage with their caregivers, with everyone in their environment. So, by equipping parents with these skills of spending one on one time, we call it in the program, by equipping parents with the skill on how to make specific time to spend with their child in the easiest ways possible, we really help parents to connect to their children in a low barrier way. Every parent in the program has their own journey with lots of different challenges that they have to navigate. And the last thing that these parents need is another thing to do, another thing on their list that they need to accomplish. And that's the same for parents in any scenario. I'm sure every parent listening can testify to that as well. But the parents in this specific group as well, the last thing they need is another thing on their to-do list. So what we really try to equip them with is the skill of how to identify these small moments where you can connect with your child, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, where you ask them, what would you like to do? And in that way, there's really that relationship of trust that is established between the parent and the child. And that is the starting point of everything when it comes to a successful parenting journey.
Great. And maybe for you, Nonchalanchla and Shloni, given that you've completed the Samabesane parenting program, can you share a bit about your experience of the program and how the program impacted your parenting? and your just overall outlook of life, especially in relation to your drug use?
It play a big role on me to my daughter, so that I could be a perfect father on her, not harassing her. It actually teach me how to handle with all the situation that am I facing towards my daughter, because of some other daughters when they do wanna play that. Uh, Back then, I used to say, no, I can't play with you, go to your mom. But now I know that I should spend more time with her, and I should play what he or she wants to do. I don't have to choose whether she wants to play maybe with the ball. Me, I want her to dance. No, when she wanna play with the ball, I'll do what she wants. I'll play with her with the ball. Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, hence as you said, the plays their language for our kids. So like I have to understand in what so each so way on how what she wants, what does she not wants. And yeah, I can't say so much, but I've learned so much that I have to have a connection with my child. Like so much. Like last month he was turning 10 years old. So I was with him. So I've got that too much connection with my baby boy.
And what would you say is the most important lessons you've learned from the parenting program?
The most lessons that I've learned is that don't be too harsh on your daughter, but do what she or he wants. Uh, Together with you and her, you can make a difference. Because of him or her alone, he can't make it, and you also alone, you can't make it. So we need each other so that we can be a better family, and also I be a better parent on her.
Yeah, what I can say is that whether you're using drugs, whether you're not using drugs, just be there for your kids in so which way. Yeah, you have to be there for your kids because your kids is your kids. They will never judge you in whether you're using drugs or whether you don't use drugs.
Absolutely.
Your kids is your kids.
And okay. And I'm very grateful for what NACOSA just did for my daughter, because now people outside they call me Baba Gaditando because of NACOSA. But at long time they were not calling me about that name. They were calling me hey Para, things like that. But now they see how serious I am on how I wanna grow my daughter. So yeah, they now calling me Baba Gaditando, and that name makes me so strong because of I feel now that I'm a father of the Tando now. In that
Yeah.
land.
Oh, that's amazing. Um, and for you, Nolita, how would you approach conversations about drug use with the children that are in your care?
Yeah, it's not easy. Uh, Judging from the way my son mm, was doing things, I'm raising those who are younger than him. So they have questions. Mama, how is my brother looking like this? And then you have to start it from there. You have to explain that, okay, baby, your brother is not feeling well. And then he will ask you, why is he not feeling well? Is he sick? And then I will start explaining, okay, we must sit down. He's not sick. He's taking some drugs. And then he will need to know that what is drugs? What is a drug? And then I'll say, a drug is something that you use, you take, and then it will change you. It will change the way you talk. It will change the way you do things because most of the times in the house, he will be aggressive. And then the baby will be happy that he is seeing his brother. And then the brother's like, yeah, 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 yeah," So I need to sit them down and make them understand that it's not him. He's not himself. And then the drug is the one who is taking place on him right now. So you must understand that. And then from the side of her own daughter, she's still young. She doesn't understand anything. And then going through Indibano helps him more than me. Because when he goes there, we go, both of us, me and my son, to Indibano groups. And then the session, I will see when we go back home, he started to practice those things. He will go to fetch the child from school. And then one of the days in Dibano, they give them some money for transport. He will not take a taxi from when he is from Indibano. He will come back home using his feet. And then when she arrived home, he said, Mama, I don't know if the child has Danons or have something to carry to school, but this 50 rand, Sister Tandeka gave it to me. So you must use it from the child, for the child, you see. So it helps me a lot. I thank them very, very much because even now, Indibano used to help us with some nappies, some food. But when he started working, we go and tell them that okay, our son is working now. And then they said, okay, we must pull they because there are so many of them. And then in Siposetu space, we put someone who is in need for now. And then when it happens, Siposetu is not working anymore, he must come back and tell us, and then we will take care of the kid. So he's taking care of the kid. Yeah. It helps. He's playing with the kid. Yes. They are they can make a house a mess. They are in a groove in the house.
Yes.
You see. Yeah.
And before you've gotten to this point, and you've received help from the harm reduction program, what were your fears around being a guardian, or what is still your fear around being a guardian?
Okay, I would say my fear is I've been through this not as a parent. And then my fear was this child is gonna grow. Uh, is gonna grow looking at his father like this. So what am I gonna say to this child when he started noticing that her father is in drugs? And then what am I gonna say to her about the father looking like this? So I know he's gonna ask me a lot of questions. And then when I go to Indibano, they will put us down. They will told us that, okay, guys, you don't lose hope. You must be easy with them because sometimes as parents we are aggressive, and then said, okay, go away. I don't want to see you. I don't want to be with you. And so they told us, okay, it start with them, not with the child. You don't lose hope. You must be easy to the child, to the drug addict. And then it start from there
And being supportive
and being supportive.
through the journey.
Yeah.
Thanks. Anna, for you, while on the topic about guardianship, why do you think it's important to have a guardian to be part of the program? And how does the guardian support in the process of reunification?
You. Yeah, I think Nolita touched on it really, really clearly. When it comes to the guardians, I think the guardians are the ones that are making or breaking the relationship between the parent and the child, right? Because they are the ones often that are looking after these children, that are tasked with trying to explain why the situation is the way that it is. And if the guardians don't have buy-in, don't feel that there is a need for this parent to be involved in the child's life, even the basics of access won't be there. So having the guardian involved in the process from the start, um, speaking about why it is important that parents stay involved with their children, how we can all come alongside the parents to reestablish that relationship is really important. And what is beautiful with the program is that when parents participate in the program, they also show commitment of wanting to be that parent, right? That perfect parent, if you like, as it was shared by one of the other panelists. Um, so by being part of the program, the parents also show that they're ready to change and step into that role of parenting again if they were not able to fulfill that role for a shorter or longer time. And through the program, they also learn these coping skills on how to handle challenges in a different way. They learn positive communication skills. They learn how to solve problems collaboratively rather than lashing out. And that all really helps to establish a positive relationship both between the guardian and the parent, as well as with the child. So having those three parts of the triangle involved is really essential to be able to establish a positive home environment where everybody is involved in a good way.
Great. And for you, Nonchalanchla, how has the program strengthened your relationship with your guardian? of your child. I do know you currently not living with your child, and maybe just take us through that journey of the guardian being part of the Sabambesane parenting program, and how did that strengthen your relationship with?
It is strengthening me a lot. And hence, as I told you, last month I was on his birthday. Then before the birthday, my mom she called me that do I want to come in because they're inviting me to go to zoo with them so that I can get a bond with my child. It's strengthening me so much to have a bond with my child. So that my mom she used to shout at me that I'm using drugs in front of him, but now like she can talk to me like so nicely because she can see that I'm even trying because she knows that I'm in a program of Sibambisane and everything. And I thank Sibambisane for that.
No, and Nonchalantra as a mother, there's a lot of stigma around being a parent, particularly a mother who uses drugs.
Yeah.
What is your experience around that? Because it's different for a father, because a mother is someone who needs to be nurturing, who constantly takes responsibility of their child. What was your experience around that stigma?
What I can tell you is that I've experienced so lots, and what I've experienced is not so nicely because I've nearly been into a prostitution for drugs. So it's like it's not so good so much to be a mother that's smoking drugs, especially because there's so many things that you can do that are out of line. It's not like guys. It's not like the boys. It's not the same like the Sonolo as me. Because as it's so easy, like to sell your body to get drugs, especially in a woman, and like you go to periods without having pets,
Yes.
and you don't have a place to stay. You have to go and sleep with guys, like you see. So it is not nice, but this Sibambisane is giving me a lot of strength to teach me how to be a parent and how to take care of myself also and for my kids also. Thank you.
Great. In Shloni, you have experienced a lot of trauma in your journey of substance use, and now you're on the methadone program. And you've been reunified with your child, so you're living together, which is absolutely amazing. What would you say is the biggest challenge you face as a parent dealing with substance use, and then being on a methadone program, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest challenge that I've ever faced is that not staying at home, staying at street. That's a big challenge because of something as I don't know whether am I going to see tomorrow or what when I'm at street. When it's either am I still going to see my daughter or what when I'm at street. But for now, I knew everything would I'll I'll be at home. Now I'm now having a home and I'm now living with my daughter. Yeah, which is and now I did overcome that challenge of not having of not me of not being available from my kid for my daughter by that time. But now I'm available. That's why I want to make sure that this all as a situation I just want to overcome it and be a best father for the daughter.
Thanks, Inshoni. And Anna, what would you say is some of the challenges if you're not on a methadone program? And Shloni had the opportunity, to be on a methadone program and the Sabambesane parenting program. So what would you say, to parents who don't have the opportunity to be on a methadone program, that is not engaged in a harm reduction space? Does this work with someone who's an active drug user?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, so I do think that drug use and parenting can coexist because your drug use doesn't stop you from being a parent. It's a biological thing. It's something that's ingrained in you. As a human being with a child, you want to be there for your child. So it is not fair at all to separate that and say this person cannot be a parent, because that's not the reality of it. Everybody's heart is there deep down to be there for their child. So we have to work with people where they're at. Of course, when active use is happening, there are very particular challenges that can come up, depending on case by case. There's no one situation that covers everyone. But there are challenges with consistency, with energy levels. There's emotional regulation that can become hard during active use. It can be hard to provide a stable home environment for the child. So all these different challenges can come into play, and I think it's really important that we make sure that, of course, the well-being and safety of the child is front and center for everyone, but that we support the parent as best as possible with a range of services to help them to be part of their children's life in a positive way. So whether the parent is still using in recovery and treatment, we really need to focus on finding the strengths and have that strength-based approach to see how they can become a part of their children's lives and how they can build that parent-child relationship one step at a time. Again, with the support of the guardian, with the support of the others that are providing services to them. Because what we know is that every child wants their parent. So we can do justice to that by supporting them as best as possible.
So that leads me to the next question, Nolita, is how can our communities better support our caregivers in these situations? Because we are shunned away as parents who have children who are substance users in our communities.
You're dealing with a community, it's not something easy because you as a parent, you are being judged. Um, your child will go outside and do something that is not good at all, and then they will come to you. They will tell you things. They will call you names because of the child. It's like when the child is in drugs, you didn't take good care of the child from the beginning. And it's not like that. You raised the child well, and then it started when the child started to see that I'm old, I can do anything. Ne. It started there, and then the community is always judging. You feel like you can go away and run away from everything. But because you have a child that used to have dreams, and then you can't let it go. You have to be there with the child, even if it's challenging. It's very, very, very challenging. But you can't let him or her go. We have to stood by her all the way.
And for you, Nonchalanshla and Shloni, what kind of support, whether that's from family or community or just from other organizations, made the biggest difference for you?
Yeah, I'm getting support from and other people because of now they giving me pampers, uh, wipers, everything that the baby needs. I'm not like being a good father because of the baby doesn't know where those things came from. But at the end, maybe we're gonna think that my father brought me those things, why even that I'm not, which is is I'm so much grateful for that what they did to me on my daughter. Yes. So what can I say? It's yeah. That's only that which I'm so grateful of what they are doing so that my daughter can be the same as other daughter outside. Yes.
What I can say, I'm thankful for their offers of I can get any medication that I want. I can get the what you call. I can get the advices from our social workers in our group. I can get any. I'm not sharing anything that I'm using on my substances, so I'm really thankful, and I can also get connected with my child. Whatsoever I have, whatever problem I have, I'm gonna tell my social worker because we have a social worker in our group as much as we are doing the parenting group. Yeah, so I'm very thankful for that. That I can get all the attention that I need for for my kid and for me also
To support
to
each other.
support each other. Thank you.
Yeah. And, Anna, just listening to Nonchalanshla and Shloni, why do you think we are not seeing enough programs for parents who use drugs? We understand there's a lot of stigma related to parenting and drug use. Um, why isn't there just enough programs rather to support parents who use drugs and the guardians?
Yeah, I think it comes back to that key word of stigma. I think so often drug use is seen as a choice that was made and as something that the parent needs to live with the consequences. But I think research shows so clearly that having parents actively involved in their children's lives and providing that stable home environment where children are raised in a loving space by their immediate caregivers, the outcomes of that long term are incomparable to any other interventions that we have. So, in terms of preventing future drug use, trauma, violence, all these things come into play. So, I think it's really important that we keep emphasizing that by investing in parenting skills, by keeping on supporting parents to be the parents that they want to be, you're really contributing to the child's life, the family's life, the community, societal outcomes in a way that's unequaled by other interventions. So there's really an important point to keep advocating for.
Mm. And I know you mentioned this earlier, but really, can drug use and good parenting coexist?
Yes, yeah. So, like I said, I think it's a very complex reality, and no family situation is the same. But like I said before, it's so important that we give parents an opportunity to fulfill that role in accordance to their current ability. It's also not realistic, of course, to place a child in a parent's full-time care if they're not able to provide that support. So we really have to assess on a case-by-case basis what the right situation and setup is for every child, for every parent, for every family.
Thanks so much, Anna. I also just wanted to ask you, what's one piece of advice you could give to parents who are feeling overwhelmed but are hesitant to seek help?
Yeah. So I think, again, any parent can testify that on the parenting journey, you will have those moments where you're feeling so overwhelmed, where you feel like you're not equipped to deal with all the challenges that you're having to navigate. And I think it's so important for parents to realize that we're never alone. We're never the only ones that are fighting these battles. And by coming together with other parents, by asking for help from service providers, there is so much support that is available. And even by just sharing your story and recognizing that there are other parents with a very similar story to yours, there's so much comfort that comes from that because you're not the only one. You're one of many, and everybody has to navigate these different things. And by come alongside each other, we can find solutions that work for our specific settings, that work for our specific family setups, and we can find creative solutions that we might have not been able to come to if we were just struggling by ourselves in our own narrow corner. So definitely for any parent, reach out to other parents, to your extended family, to service providers, to get the support that you need. You don't have to suffer by yourself and find your way by yourself. There's a lot that we can do together.
And creating that support network is important. For you, Nolita, how how do you balance, setting boundaries, and showing empathy when addressing drug-related issues in your family? Because it's very difficult to speak about drug use in our communities. It's something that there's a lot of stigma associated, and people feel ashamed to talk about drug use, especially in their own home.
Mm, in that, I would say setting boundaries, establish a clear expectations and consequences while maintaining a supporting way to the child. Um, you must know your child. You must you must have a way of talking to him, not always fighting. You must sometimes must call him, just say, "Come and sit with me. Please tell me from now on, where are we going? So how would you like me to help you? Or what is it that I am doing that is pushing you away? What is it that I am doing that is making you?" Because sometimes you feel like the child is doing like this because of you. Maybe there are things, some of the child are not open, or the children are not open. Maybe there's something that you are doing unnoticed, and then it's pushing the child to go aside and do those things. So we need to be supportive. And but during that time, ne, you must not expect, you have expectations. Just give the support. Don't expect anything, just give the support. And then the process itself will change.
And it's a journey.
Yes.
Anna, just speaking about the actual program and the sessions and the creative use within the program, maybe you can just share with us or share a story where creative methods like drama or art helped a family open up about the difficult topic like addiction.
Yes, so what's really a beautiful approach in the program is role plays. What we really know from both research and implementation is that when you're building skills, it's really important that people have the confidence to apply the skill, right? So by having these group sessions where parents come together and problem solve together and role play their skills together, that really allows them to feel ready to now take on the real life situations as well. And that's really something that we've seen time and time again, that by having these role play opportunities during the sessions, that parents can explore what that feels like to start the conversation. What does it feel like to engage with the guardian of the child around these topics? What does it feel like to use positive instructions and praise with the child? How does it practically work? And it really becomes a group learning process because all the parents come together and give each other advice for things that may or may not work in their specific context. So it really becomes something that is owned and offered by the group rather than something that is dictated by the program. So in that sense, the role of play and role play specifically is really important to help parents apply the skills that they're learning.
It's such a unique, supportive method in the harm reduction context. She's absolutely amazing. And then I think just lastly for Shloni, Nonchlanchla, and Ma Nolita, if if you could share one message of hope or just a takeaway for other parents or guardians in a similar situation, what would that be?
I would like to say, please, parents, let us not give up on what we just bring through the world, because what we bring through the world, who knows that tomorrow that thing can change into another. So I think we have to support whether the person or the daughter is doing wrong or what, but I think we have to support in a good way so that we can change what he's doing to a right thing. Yes.
Me, what I can say, as we are parents, we must take care of our child and we must know what's wrong with our child, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, but you have to stand with your child. In no matter what. That's all I can say.
Okay. To the parents who are going through this season of having a girl or a boy child who is in drugs, I would say love your first, love yourself first. And then it will start from there, from loving yourself. And then that love will take you through to loving your daughter or your son. And then your son or your daughter will feel welcomed. And then secondly, I would say go for support groups. Support groups like Indibano, you have everything there. You have social workers, they are trained to do the job. Sometimes when you are dealing with this, you are not yourself. You don't understand anything. You don't want anyone to tell you what to do. But the support groups, the social workers, the nurses, they are here to help us. Yeah.
And Anna, if your child is taken away from you, we have to still understand that you are still a parent. And how do we help parents to be okay with their children being placed in guardianship or foster care? Because it's never easy for a parent to let go of their children in this journey of recovery or journey of their drug use.
Yeah, I think it really comes back to what Manolita was sharing just now, that it starts with self-love as well. It starts with mental health, with recognizing how you're thinking about yourself, what kind of goals you're setting towards yourself, whether you're getting caught up in negative spirals of thinking or positive spirals of upward spirals of thinking. So your self-talk and your thought patterns are really important in that. And we've incorporated that in the Sibam Sena program very specifically, where the first sessions are focused on setting goals and having that same strength-based approach. Like, what is it that we are hoping for in the future? No matter what our situation looks like at this moment, we believe that change is possible. We've seen it time and again. So, what does that change look like? And what are the small steps that we can take now to work towards that? And it can be as small as changing, as recognizing your emotions and changing how you respond to those. So, all of those skills around mental health are really important as parents who might be separated from their children, to start thinking in a way of what might be possible in the future and what can I do now to start equipping myself to be that parent that I long to be.
And you know, Anna, with that being said, what has been your experience around, you know, the legal issues when accessing rights as a parent? Because I know in the Sabambesane parenting program, it speaks a lot about the parents' rights. It speaks a lot about the children's right. What has your experience been?
I think it's really important that those discussions are had, because I think often what happens is that when people are not aware of both rights and responsibilities, the situation that is present is accepted as something that cannot be changed. But when there is a deeper understanding of what rights your child has in terms of the parent that they are, the parenting that they are entitled to, as well as what rights as a parent you have to provide the support to your child, then you really start to think very practically on what it is that you can do to make that happen. So it kind of gives people a starting point to think what the next step could be, and that's a really important one.
Thank you so much, Anna. As we coming to the end of our discussion around parents who use drugs and being part of the Sabambesane parenting program, I like to refocus it on you and Shlone, Nonshlanshla and Ma, Nolita. What is your say it anyway for those of them who are listening as parents, as guardians, as community? What is your say it anyway?
My say it is that parents, please, would you please love your daughter and make sure that the daughter are taking good decisions. That's why we should take care of them we we are still young. So we don't know which way is the right way. So you parents, I think you should guide us into the right way, because us alone we won't make it. We need you to have more right direction. What can I say? Thank you.
All I can say to the other parents, they must learn from us. They must learn from whatever we said, because of we're talking from our experience, and the experience is not the best teach.
Okay, my say it anyway is to the community. You must stop judging us. Stop judging our kids. They didn't choose. Some they say it's a choice, but I don't think so. We need you guys to support us. We need you to support our kids. You don't just throw names at them. If you have something that you see that can help the child, go for it. Try to talk with the child. If you have somewhere where you can take the child to get help, take the child. My child is your child. Your child is my child. Thank you.
Anna, for someone who's been at the forefront and behind the scenes in developing the Sabambesane parenting program, what is your say it anyway?
My say it anyway is that we can do better. We can do more. I think as stakeholders across South Africa, there is better ways in which we can come together to support these families in need. I think drug use in South Africa is a really big problem that's affecting so many families, and just brushing it off as something that's a choice, like Manolita is saying, or something that is too hard to deal with, doesn't do justice to the size of the problem and the number of families that's affected by this. So my say it anyway is that we can do better, we can do more, and it's so important that we all come together to realize those results for the families, for the children that are out there.
Thanks, Anna. So let us challenge the narrative today. Society often assumes that parents who use drugs are incapable of love, care, or responsibility. But here's the truth. Addiction isn't Addiction doesn't ease humanity, and recovery isn't a one-size-fits-all journey. To every parent listening, whether you're in the thick of the struggle, on the path of healing, or supporting someone who's using drugs, remember this. Your worth isn't defined by stereotypes. It is defined by your courage to keep showing up, your willingness to grow, and the love to fight to preserve. And to those quick to judge, ask yourself, what if kindness was the first response instead of stigma? What if we replaced shame with support? Say it anyway. Parenting is hard. Parenting while navigating addiction or recovery is even harder. But no one is beyond redemption, and every family deserves a chance to heal. As we close, let us carry forward this message. Resilience is built in community. Let us be that community. Sibambesane means to hold each other, and that's exactly what we must do. It isn't about fixing people, it is about fostering resilience. By supporting families without stigma, we create a safer, healthier future for our children and our caregivers. Together, we can turn challenges into growth. And this is our Say It Anyway. Thank you.